Hello, folks. The Average Joe here, coming to you live. This is going to be my first video in what I hope will be a segment of videos that talk about my journey through getting my breathing problems addressed, my sleep apnea issues, weight loss, etc. First, I want to tell you a little bit about how I came to the point where I'm at now, and then I want to tell you where I went and how I got there and share with you from there. A couple years ago, uh, like most people, I had no idea I had a sleep issue or I wasn't getting good quality sleep and had something called sleep apnea. The symptoms, that I started to have was, I was having to commute to work, and it'd take me about an hour or so to get there each way, and I'd find myself nodding off on the way into work or on the way home from work. Most of the time, I was able to fight through it, and then one day, I fell asleep driving about, it was probably no more than a few blocks away from the office, and nodded off and hit another vehicle, and fortunately, no one was injured, and there was some damage done to both vehicles, but fortunately, there were no serious injuries. But that was obviously a serious wake-up call for me, that I obviously had an issue. My wife at that time told me that she wasn't going to stand for this and I needed to get this addressed, and so I told her if she wanted to find a doctor that I would go get checked out. My wife did pretty extensive research and came up with who she thought to be one of the top individuals dealing with sinus related issues, ENT, somebody that specialized with sleep apnea, that kind of thing. And that was Dr. David Dillard at the Sleep and Sinus Center of Georgia. I didn't do a whole lot of research into him prior to this. Obviously, I trusted my wife's judgment, and I went to see him and get my issues addressed, and he started addressing them. I've been treating with him now for I think about 2 years. I'm actually right now. I just had sinus surgery done about a week ago. I think I'm 8 or 9 days post-op from my big sinus surgery, correcting my deviated septum and all of that. And I intend to get into that in a lot more detail in other videos to come. But the main thing I wanted to touch on today in this intro video was about sleep apnea, because I call myself the average Joe because like most guys, I feel like I fall into that category of most guys, and most guys aren't quick to run to the doctor when they have a problem. A lot of us go years and years without even admitting that something is a problem, until something happens catastrophic that leads us to that point, which is what happened for me. I actually had seen a video testimonial that was done by someone else uh, reviewing Dr. Dillard, and did not realize, but that story really moved me, and it was a story about a guy whose son had sleep apnea and had passed away as a result of it not being treated. Combination of being overweight and having the sleep apnea and not addressing it. I myself found, after having a sleep study, that I had pretty severe sleep apnea. I had been prescribed a CPAP machine in the past, but again, like most typical guys, I used it for a few days, found it to be cumbersome, and did not continue the use of it, and it's pretty much been in the closet ever since, collecting dust. Which is a shame, because a lot of people that do religiously use them and commit to them say that they are getting a lot better sleep and they're not having the sleep apnea. I just found it to be so obtrusive that I still didn't find myself really getting what I thought to be a good night's sleep, and I stopped using it. I had lost hope, I had pretty much given up on this until I was forced once again to deal with it. Fortunately, the consequences weren't more serious. I just did some damage to my truck and got a ticket. But that's what I needed as my wake up call. Obviously, I had sleep apnea. I have started a weight loss regime through a nutritionist, which is a whole nother thing that I'll get into down the road. But the biggest thing is, I want people to be aware out there that you may have sleep apnea. If you don't feel like you're getting a good night's sleep, if you're up and down several times a night, if you're up and down several times a night, urinating, pacing around the house, you're not consistently getting, what they call REM sleep, REM, which is where your body is actually recharging like it's supposed to. It takes a while, but eventually it will catch up with you. If you're progressed far enough to where you're having symptoms like you're nodding off while you're driving in your commute to work, then oh my God, you got to get this looked at ASAP before you end up in an accident or, God forbid, passed away, have a heart attack, have a stroke. Sleep apnea is in a nutshell, when you stop breathing while you're sleeping. You're gasping for air. And it's not healthy because the brain is being deprived of oxygen. And much like a fight or flight reflex, your body is being alarmed, triggered into an alarm state because it's needing oxygen, which is not conducive to anybody getting sound sleep. I highly recommend that if you have any symptoms or you've experienced anything like that you go make an appointment with Dr. Dillard and you get this checked out. At least have a sleep study done. At least go talk to him, have a consultation. It's an office visit. If he thinks you have an issue, then it'll be followed up probably with a sleep study and get it checked. You don't have to be obese to have sleep apnea. There's a lot of people that are slender, fit, that have sleep apnea as well. And there's a stigma out there that sleep apnea only affects obese or fat people. I'm obese. I've lost about almost 30 pounds in the last month and a couple weeks, and I've already noticed that that's having an impact. I also had some other sinus issues which needed to be addressed, which were affecting my breathing. But if you think you have any of these symptoms or you're experiencing anything like this, or you just think you're not getting the quality sleep, look, make the appointment, get the consultation, call Dr. Dillard's office, tell him you saw this video, you want to get a consultation. You reviewed a video that you saw online about the average Joe and sleep apnea, and you want to get checked out. Dr. Dillard is a great doctor, great man. He has offices in Athens, Georgia. I usually go to Athens. He also has an office in Lawrenceville, and I believe he has some other locations around the metro Atlanta area as well. But this is, part of, finding a good doctor is feeling like you got a doctor that cares about what he's doing, that's passionate about his work and wants to solve the problem, as opposed to one of these quick fixes or somebody that's going to, put a Band-Aid on the problem or prescribe you a med and send you on your way. Dr. Dillard genuinely is concerned and cares about his patients. He takes the time to figure out exactly what your issues are and then addresses those issues specifically. He's been great. He's a great guy. He's always taken the time to explain things to me. I haven't always understood everything that he's saying when he's explained it, which is why I highly encourage you to ask questions if you don't understand. He has no problem showing you on your scans specifically what he's looking at, what he's seeing, and how he foresees fixing it. I think where he had me was, when he did a CT on my head and showed me all the areas that were contributing to my breathing being obstructed. And, he said, look, I'm most everything that's going on in there is all plumbing, and he said, I'm not a magician, but I'm a damn good plumber. And I think that was what right there where I knew I had the right doctor for me. He takes the time to listen to his patients, address the issues, address the concerns, and he cares about the outcome. And he does whatever he can within his knowledge to fix and correct these issues. I was very reluctant to have my recent sinus surgery done. I'm glad it's over. I had a lot more confidence going into it because Dr. Dillard was my doctor, my ENT, my surgeon. And like I said, now I'm about 8 or 9 days post-op, and I'm glad it's over with. I'm anxious to finish making my recovery and see how I'm doing. But I'm very excited and optimistic about the future. But the message for today is short and simple. Guys, gals, whoever you are, big, small, take it from me, the average Joe. If you're experiencing any symptoms, getting up during the night several times, frequent urination, you're pacing around, you're not sleeping, or you may even be catching yourself waking yourself up from the sleep apnea, or your partner or your wife or your husband tells you, you wake up a lot and you're gasping for air, you sound like you stopped breathing. If you're experiencing anything like nodding off at work during the day, nodding off while you're driving or commuting or sitting in traffic, you may have sleep apnea, and it's not that bad. It can be addressed and it can be fixed, and there's several different ways to go at attacking it and correcting the problems. But the first step is admitting that you have a problem and seeing a specialist. And in this case, I'm not one to rave about doctors and definitely do recommendations. You won't ever find that I've done another one out there. But David Dillard and the Sleep and Sinus Centers of Georgia is what has inspired me to make this series of videos. So give him a call, make an appointment, Google it. Like I said, he has offices in Athens, and I know he has offices in Lawrenceville, over by the Gwinnett Medical Center. Make an appointment, have a consultation. If necessary, get the sleep study done. But go to Dr. Dillard. Give Dr. Dillard a chance. Go see someone that specializes in ear, nose, and throat, specializes in sleep and sinus, and is an expert in the field of sleep apnea and correcting sinus and breathing related issues. Obviously, he can deal with a lot of other things, including allergies and all kinds of other stuff. But go get checked out by a professional, see if you have a problem, and if you have a problem, see what he can do to help. The average Joe is highly recommending that you not sit around and wait. There can be catastrophic and even fatal consequences of not addressing sleep apnea. Get it checked, get it fixed, get your appointment. Call Dr. David Dillard's office today. Make an appointment for a consult. Tell him the average Joe sent you from YouTube. And I wish you all the best of luck. I'll be posting more videos about my different processes that I've been through over there to kind of help guide you along the way from an average person that's been in your shoes, experiencing the things you've experienced and will likely encounter. And I'm here to help. So subscribe, leave your feedback, ask your questions, and I look forward to doing more of these in the future. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.